Good evening, Fernwood. It is your weekday warrior, Neil, and it's time for us to go into battle with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. It is episode 220 from February 4th, 1977. I believe it's time for us to recap. Mary was having a snack yesterday morning when she heard a mysterious voice from behind her kitchen door. It was a little boy puppet named Merle who was attached to the older person named Merle. Merle brought two hand puppets so that he and Mary could make believe that they were getting it on somehow, and Mary puts him off of that plan immediately and sends him on his way. At the hospital, George runs up to Martha, who says that she's maybe wanting to go back home instead of volunteering her time at the hospital so much. They spend a bit of time flirting, and then Martha gets back to her shift, leaving George to talk to the person behind the curtains, who is sadly a bit of a rude awakening for George. The next morning, back in the Hartman kitchen, Mary is doing her best to get Tom out to work as quickly as possible. Tom worries about Mary's anxiety, and Mary takes off her caftan to reveal that she has taken a new job as a ticket taker at the movie theater. Mary apologizes to Tom and hopes that his manhood isn't threatened, but Tom is quite accepting. As Tom leaves, Mary gets a visit from May Olinsky, who is on her way out of town. May hopes that she did something good for the community, and Mary apologizes for not helping out as much as she could have, and May just hopes that people's lives get better. And then we cut to the movie theater, which is Mary's new job. She gets a bit of training as customers start to show up. She struggles a bit with customer service and retail skills, and then is approached by a young man who wants all of the money in the booth. Mary's confused about this, but it turns out that he is robbing her, and of course she gives him all the money she can. The manager of the theater runs out and blames Mary for this happening, and he fires Mary on the spot. And everyone, that was our Thursday episode. We are ending the week because it is now Friday. The weekend is approaching. Let us begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! Psst, Pat. It's me.
I don't believe it. Oh, it's so wonderful of you to come. I don't get many visitors.
Well, I'm not exactly a visitor. I'm a matron. So how do I look? Well, I'm not a matron. I mean, I'm like a training matron. I'm like what you call an expectant matron, you know what I mean? Let me just do this first, okay? Okay. I just have to lock this door. Okay. Forget it, Pat.
Mary, what are you doing working in a place like this?
Well, Pat, to make a long story short, you know, Tom has been having a lot of financial trouble, so to help him try to get out of debt, what I did was I decided to get a job at a movie theater as a ticket taker. So that's what I did. But the first day on the job, they got robbed. So I got fired. They said that it was because, you know, I was careless. But, you know, I don't know. You can never tell. You know, they'll say anything to you. So what I decided was I should get a job that had more authority and that maybe was safer. And I thought to myself, what safer place is there than a prison? I mean, a prison, at least all the murderers and the robbers are behind the bars.
Mary Hartman, a prison matron.
Mary Hartman, a prison trainee, and I think she's coming right now.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking all over for you, Hartman.
You can call me Mary.
No laughing. Stop that. There is no laughing in Fernwood's finest and oldest jail. That's rule number 6. No laughing, no running, no laughing, no talking, no sex, no sharp objects.
Please don't take my book away from me. The Lonely Woman is such a comfort.
Rule 11. No talking back to the matron. Now, Gimble, I don't need to remind you that you're a murderer and thus you have little to say about anything.
Could I talk to you for a minute, please? There are a few rules that I would, myself personally like to talk to you about, that I feel that we really can do something about.
If you want reform, go into politics. Now, let's get down to business. I'm going to teach you about prison life, beginning right here with Gimble. She's poison. You want to watch her like a hawk.
Oh.
She stabbed her poor husband with a Christmas tree.
No, she didn't do that. And also, if you knew the real Pat, she's terrific. I mean, she is really terrific. I mean, maybe, what we could do is possibly one afternoon, we'll take some time off and we'll sit down and we'll play some bridge. Now, I don't really know how to play bridge, but I could be the dummy.
No. Quiet. Now, if any of the girls in this section get out of hand, knock 'em silly.
She must have had a very tough childhood, huh?
Yeah.
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 Wait a minute. Can you just hold this for a second?
Yeah.
Just hold it, okay?
Mary.
What? Yeah, I'll get this in a second.
No. The shiny one. The shiny one.
Which one?
The shiny.
Which one?
Shiny.
Which one?
Shiny.
That one? Oh, the right one. And Pat, we have our own private jail cell.
No, well, we got to share with a girl named Cookie. She's out now. She's getting grilled.
Oh, that's terrific, because when she comes back, you know it. Boy, is she going to be in the mood for a long talk.
Oh.
So when do they serve coffee around here? No?
No.
Well, then maybe what I should do is I should run down to the deli and I should get something to go. What do you want?
Hartman!
What? In here?
What are you doing in there?
Oh, I was just having a chat with my friend Pat, first-degree murder.
Get out of there immediately. You know there's to be no fraternizing.
Oh, okay. No fraternizing. Yes, sir. So what I'll do is I'll go to the deli and I'll get...
What are you doing?
Oh, I was just finishing up the chat with my friend Pat so I could go on with the no fraternizing.
Get out of that cell immediately.
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely. I will.
Lock the door.
Oh, lock the door. Yes, certainly. Which key?
The shiny one.
The shiny one. Yeah, what do you want?
I'm sick.
Yeah? Well, I'll take a look at that.
I don't feel good.
Do you think you're contagious?
I just don't feel good.
Well, I just want you to know I'm your friend, okay? Now, I know how it feels not to feel good. And I know that part of the feeling is that you feel that the whole world is against you. So I just want you to know that I'm your friend, okay? I really am.
Hartman, just what are you doing now?
Oh, I'm just taking a cigarette break.
That must be Mrs. Jeter.
Yeah, that's her, all right. Yeah, better get some shoes.
Oh, hi, Lila. Oh, where's Lila running off to in such a hurry? Well, I have just seen the perfect three-piece suit you gotta buy for your next speech.
Wanda, I gotta I don't know, I just can't stand it any longer.
Well, then sit.
Oh, wait, don't get cute with me, okay? I got a little confession to make here. I've been in the arms of another woman.
Oh. You mean Lila, I'll bet.
Well, you don't even sound surprised.
Well, Merle, I did bring Lila into the house, to sort of help me run it properly. Merle, she is a real vintage 50s person, the child woman, an erupting volcano of Catholic repressions. Oh, that's not Catholic, meaning in the religious sense. It's Catholic, rather, meaning universal.
No, wait a minute here, Wanda. What are you trying to tell me, anyway? I mean, that you brought a woman in here as a maid, and then you're turning right around and saying that you had ulterior motives? That you brought her in here so that she'd keep me happy, so that you wouldn't have to put out your own self? Is that it?
I really do feel that it's a feasible arrangement. I mean, this way I don't feel guilty, and you don't feel neglected.
Wanda, it's you that I want.
Merle, where were you when I needed you?
Oh, good night. Can't you be fair at all, Wanda? My gosh, won't you ever forget our wedding night, for God's sake? I told you 1,000 times I went to that brothel to clear the town of prostitution. And I've told you that time and time again.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Merle. Really, there's no need to explain. I know that you have a lot of more important things on your mind. Well, like Fernwood's rising property tax, which is incensing homeowners.
I'm the one that's incensed here. Don't you care at all about this sneaky episode? Don't you care at all, Wanda? Don't you care that I'm getting something from a woman that you won't give me?
Well, Merle, of course I care. Look, I'm very fond of Lila. I don't want any harm to come to her.
To hell with Lila. I'm talking about me, Wanda.
It always comes down to that, doesn't it?
Well, what about me? What is it? Don't you care about me at all anymore, Wanda? I mean, not at all? Don't you care that your husband is making it with a woman that you hired as a maid? Well, I'll tell you something, Wanda. Every time you leave me alone with that woman, I'm going to take everything she's got to offer. You understand that? Now, what do you think about that?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Oh, honey.
Hi, Miss Shumway. Harold Clemens at your service.
Oh, what a nice surprise. Come right on in, Mr. Clemens.
Well, thank you. I'm just tracking down the story on the Marquette rock that's in your backyard. And unless I miss my educated guess, that could become one of Fernwood's biggest tourist attractions.
You're kidding.
No. As a matter of fact, the Chamber of Commerce is already considering putting billboards outside of town to publicize it.
Oh, you're missing a little button there.
Yeah, I cut it off shaving.
Oh, you mean our front lawn is going to become famous?
Now, on your right, you will notice Fernwood's historical Marquette rock, home of the first missionary church for the Indians.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the rock?
No.
Does it have any attributes that would distinguish it from any other rock, or any outcroppings, any pockets of iron ore or dirties?
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Clemens, it's just a rock, Right. It doesn't roll much, so I suppose it does gather moss.
Mossy rock. Mossy Marquette rock. I like that.
Now, wait a minute. Merle Jeter said something about that was the cornerstone for the missionary, and that Father Marquette put his initials on it, and it's somewhere on the rock.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
That's, something.
Ma, that's how we can do it. That's how we can make our money. See, you'll make hot dogs, and I'll give lectures on the origin of the rock. We'll do all that stuff that tourists just eat up, and we'll be rich.
Now, wait a minute. Mr. Clemens. Are you trying to tell me that you are going to publicize our rock, our Marquette rock, and have tourists coming in and out of here like that? Because I don't think George would approve of that. I think that he would think that it was an invasion of privacy.
No way to make a buck in this family.
No.
Hi, family. Hi, Mr. Clemens.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Hartman. Mrs. Hartman. I'm just going out back to check out the rock. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary. Guess what? We are planning our new career in tourism. You see, Grandpa and I are going to give lectures on the Marquette Rock, and Mom is going to cook hot dogs in the kitchen.
Oh, that's nice. But be careful because hot dogs really are made out of byproducts. And
Mary.
God knows what else.
Mary, what's wrong?
What ever gave you the idea something was wrong?
Why, you would never be wearing anything that drab if nothing was wrong.
Ma, everybody at the Fernwood County Jail dresses like this.
Fernwood Jail?
Oh, I didn't tell you I got a job there?
You're working at the Fernwood County Jail?
Well, no, not exactly, not anymore. Connie Murat, a lifer, grabbed me by the neck and then pinned me against the prison bars. So they fired me. I guess institutional career is not for me.
Well, I'm very excited about my new career in tourism. You know, and if you need a job, I'll tell you what, maybe I'll hire you and you can sell postcards or something.
No, that's nice, Kathy, thanks. No, this is something I just gotta do this myself, that's all. I gotta believe in myself. I mean, if I could have kept that job for 2 days, then I could have kept it for 3 days. Then I could have kept it for a week. I mean, God knows what I could have done. Just as long as it's not too much, too soon, too fast.
Keep it down, honey. You're going to ruin my act. Good evening, ladies and germs. What a way to start. Hey, Frank. Nice to see you. And welcome to the fabulous Thomas Edison Room, high atop scenic Fernwood Jail. Tonight we're presenting something a little unusual, I guess you'd have to say. Something I think we're going to call a real shocking experience. Thank you very much. That's very gratifying. But seriously, folks, right now I'd like to introduce to you a little lady who I personally feel has got an electrifying quality. Once again, I made that up. She's a housewife from Fernwood, Ohio. Her hobbies include writing porno novels and raising bedwetters. Let's meet and greet Mrs. Pat Kimball. Hi, Pat. Pat has come down here from Fernwood, where she's been just leaving them in the aisles with her Sacco Little Specialty Act. Once again, we'll check. Murdering the husband with a Christmas tree.
I did!
You have something like to say to folks, Pat?
What?
What? What, Pat? I think about 1,000 watts. Thank you very much. Told you she was a high-powered little performer, didn't I? Well, Pat, I'd like to go on talking to you all night, but right now I think it's just about showtime, isn't it, folks? What do you say?
Wait a second!
now, Patty G, this is no time to have stage fright.
Don't I get a request? A cigarette? Anything?
Well, now, let me check on that. Let me check. Now, what are the rules there? Can she have a cigarette?
Yep.
Okay, here it comes. One cigarette.
I walked my last mile for a camel?
You're right, Pat, but that's enough. You know, these things will kill you.
Hasn't the governor sent the reprieve?
Reprieve. No, he did send over a lovely basket of oranges, though, Pat, but you're already getting plenty of juice. Reprieve, no. Anyway, folks, here she is, Patty Gimble, doing her own little Sacco specialty act, her impression of, that's right, dying! You're right, Pat, and I almost forgot. Thank you. Here we go. I'm sorry. Oh, that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Pat Gimble. Isn't she terrific, folks? And what a good sport.
You're having a nightmare.
Oh, my God. Oh, I had a nightmare. Oh, my God. Oh, it was awful. Oh, they electrocuted me. And it was a nightclub act. And I kept screaming that I was innocent. And Garth was there. And he was laughing at me. And grinning. But it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you something. Nightmares have a habit of coming true in this place.
But I am innocent.
Look, you better think about busting out of this place with me. Because I know the law, and for what you're in for, that nightmare you had could very well happen to you, and even if you're innocent, there are still people, even if they're innocent, who cook. Think about it. Think about it real good.
Honestly, my heart is pounding right now. So while we wait for that, I'm just going to share another clip from the event that I attended last month because it was fun times. So let's just share a little bit, let my heart calm down just a tad. We started with Mary on her continuing job hunt. That appears to be Mary's trajectory right now, is finding a second income for the home. And every job that she has had has been violently traumatic. So first, the matron, I would just call them a guard, is pretty much cruel, like just not a nice person. In previous episodes, we had just seen Patty playing solitaire outside of her cell. So I'm a little bit jarred at this version of Patty's experience. The guard is awful and won't let two friends visit. Now, Mary could probably visit during visiting hours if such things exist at the Fernwood jail. I couldn't tell you, but just won't allow it. And I get it, if you're working in the prison, you probably shouldn't be talking to the inmates. At this point, Patty is a suspect and not a murderer. Certainly not convicted, but it does look like trouble. Mary ends up getting called over to another cell, which I believe is the same set because they have the same door. You know, usually you don't have that many doors between cells, but that's their way of making extra space on this single set, and gets herself into trouble again. And then Merle and Lila in the couch, and Wanda walks in and does not care at all. And the way it's described in this scene, I'm a little bit confused because the woman Lila spoke about her principal last time we saw her, so I presume that she was in high school, but she's a woman that is a child on the inside, a 50s style woman. I'm a bit confused about that. I don't really know how that works. I figure that's them just trying to make up for the fact that the script made her so childlike before. And Merle is a bit butthurt that Wanda doesn't care at all. And considering how Merle treated Wanda a couple of months ago, yeah, here's my tiny, tiny, tiny violin for you, Merle. Merle is getting that feel of what it is like to be abandoned by your mate, which before they were married, Merle didn't seem to care for Wanda at all, and now he feels entitled to her sexual attention. Relationships in this show are not very equal. So then Harold Clemens pops in to visit the Shumways to find out something about the Marquette Rock in their lawn, which their home is already a historical site. That's how they're living in it. They still maybe aren't feeding themselves, so figuring out how to bring some money into the home could be helpful. I'm not sure what a Marquette Rock is, and I looked up on Google just right now and didn't see anything that helps me understand what that is. Apparently some kind of historical bit that is related to the missions that existed in Fernwood at some point. Kathy sees it as a potential revenue stream, and people do have museums or live in places that become museums, so I could see that. Martha doesn't think George would go for it. And then Mary shows up in her prison uniform and she has been fired again, and she needs to find a job that isn't horrible. And maybe she's just having bad luck. Maybe, because she's qualified to do something. Prison guard? Maybe not. I think she would be fine at a movie theater if the management were decent enough to train her and to protect her when she gets robbed. Maybe it's just going to be Mary's bad luck infinitely. I hope not, because that would be frustrating. And then we are left with that dream sequence of Patty's. She's asleep in the jail. I was reminded at first of a series of episodes of the Dark Shadows soap opera that I watched when I was younger. A dream sequence that had that kind of foggy floor, and it was a dream that when you got to the end of it, you passed it on to another character, and that character would have the same dream. And I remember loving that storyline. I don't know how many weeks it was, but at some point, well, Dark Shadows is a whole thing. And I remember as well being reminded of dream ballets, which are a feature of musicals dating back to Rodgers and Hammerstein. That era of musical always had a dream ballet that summed up where things were. And so in this version, we see Patty coming in, and she has no voice. And then Philip and Heather come out on their way to getting married. The guard shows up to bring her in to the chair, and Garth pops out, and he is a host of some kind of show, apparently a nightclub act. And maybe that is a precursor to the spin-off that would come, Fernwood Tonight. But, well, that's not Garth on that show. And it's really traumatic. I mean, and I know that it is a dream, but my heart was pounding the whole time just to see how she was dealing with her emotions. And she wakes up, and Cookie, we finally find out the roommate's name, Cookie tells Patty that the only way to get out of this is to escape. And Patty is really thinking on that. So everyone, that is the end of this week. It was a week of ending a lot of different storylines and beginning a couple of new storylines. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts and feelings in the comments. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you for going into battle. And we will see you next week in Fernwood.